We don't know what the fall of 2020 will bring for schools. We do know we have to think differently about what instruction looks like. We need to, as I'm writing my new book manuscript, reimagine the classroom. And that really comes down to designing hybrid learning environments. Pre-pandemic, you may have known me as the creator of the LearnerActive technology-infused classroom, or the author of some books. Once schools closed, we had to, as a consulting company, reinvent ourselves. We focused on supporting teachers in designing remote learning environments because they had to teach students who were at home all the time. Well, now, though, teachers need to take their best classroom practices and their recently developed best home-based learning practices and meld them together into a hybrid learning environment. And that is one in which one set of structures and strategies works as well at home as it does in the classroom. To that end, I developed a set of 7 attributes of a hybrid learning environment. And it's all about engaging teachers, students, parents, and caregivers in developing a hybrid learning environment where students can learn at academically rigorous levels. Just to give you an example from the landscape of opportunities for academically rigorous learning, one of the 7 attributes, a lot of people have been asking me about synchronous instruction. The reality is, when teachers have a group of students in the physical classroom, they have superpowers. For example, think about it. Teachers presenting a lesson, that teacher has the ability to scan students' faces and determine who has that furrowed brow look that they're not getting it. And the teacher immediately offers another explanation, writes something up on the board, or projects something different in order to try to cement that learning. Similarly, the teacher can scan those faces and find where that light bulb went off and call on that student and say, tell us what you're thinking. What just happened in your head? What did you just put together? What did you just realize? And if there's a distraction, such as a bee flying in the room, the teacher has the ability to pause the lesson and address the distraction and then come back to the lesson. So these are the superpowers of teachers in a classroom with students. However, when we switch to remote learning, all of those superpowers go away. I mean, think about it. Students are reduced to the size of postage stamps when you try to engage in synchronous instruction. So you can no longer scan their faces to see what's on them. As a matter of fact, if you have a presentation up, you may not even be able to see all of your students on the screen at the same time. And chances are you have their microphones muted, so you have no idea what distractions might be going on in their homes. If a teacher is trying to teach critical content, it's just too risky. So now, synchronous or whole group or even half group instruction needs to change, both in the classroom and at home. In a hybrid learning environment, the teacher records a short lesson, maybe 3 minutes, that intrigues and inspires students and gives them a little bit of information about content that they're about to learn. Students watch this video independently, whether they're home or even if they're in the classroom. And after watching the video, they then engage in a series of activities, what I refer to as learning activities, because they're intended to teach content. After the students have grappled a little bit with this new content, then the teacher brings them together for this live discussion. I like to call it a synthesis discussion or a benchmark discussion. I haven't quite figured out what I want to call it yet for the new book, so if you have any ideas, go to Twitter and direct message me at nsula. But the idea is that now the students come together with some knowledge. Another aspect of a hybrid learning environment is an efficacy notebook. And of course, because it's a hybrid environment, a digital efficacy notebook, where after each learning activity, the student stops, summarizes what they learned, and answers a few questions, such as, how does this relate to the bigger problem you're trying to solve? How does this relate to other content we've learned? What questions do you have? Students access the digital efficacy notebook during the lesson so that they can engage with the teacher. And the teacher may use the chat area or may set up another collaborative cloud doc, something that students can weigh in on. But now the teacher needs new superpowers. They become an explorer where they're asking a lot of questions to get students to generate ideas and questions so that students enter a phase of divergent thinking. The teacher also becomes an analyst, asking those harder what if questions which push students to higher order thinking and to more rigorous thinking around a topic. The teacher synthesizes the information to pull it all together and may actually give a brief lesson, which for the students just solidifies their learning. And finally, the teacher becomes a catalyst to move them on to the next step. Whether it's a what if, a what more, a what else, the teacher moves the students to want to learn the next piece of content. Now, students may go back and continue with more learning activities. They will definitely continue with practice activities, application activities, assessment activities, and reflection activities on the content, but they'll also move on to the next step. So it's a very different way of looking at what a teacher does when they're with the whole class. And that should be the same whether students are at home or in the classroom. So those are just some of the strategies and structures for designing hybrid learning environments. We are working hard to provide as many teachers as we can with professional development this summer and into the fall in designing hybrid learning environments. We offer a 4-day remote workshop where teachers are online between 9 and 3 for 4 consecutive days. For those who would rather spread the engagement out over a period of 2 weeks and work at times convenient for them, maybe late at night or early in the morning, we have the VLC, Virtual Learning Community. Those are our online courses. We have a whole variety of those, but we did add 3 hybrid learning environment courses for the summer. As a follow-up to both of those, we do offer design time and coaching where teachers can work with consultants to design for their classrooms and receive coaching when they actually get their hybrid learning environments underway in the fall. So we are here to help. We think this will be an unprecedented summer. It is an opportunity that we have to shift the way everyone thinks about what teaching and learning can look like. And we believe that a hybrid learning environment will serve students very well, whether they're in the classroom or at home. So let's partner together to position students to change the world. Stay safe.